Metal Men issue 3. This is obviously Dan Didio with art by Shane Davis, and we ended last issue with the giant manta ray,
the devil ray
flying towards the base. And the Nth Metal Man, this issue is like, hey, you need to let me out because I'm the only one who can save you. I'm the only one who can solve this and beat this thing.
Yeah. And Magnus like, nah, it's fine. My Metal Men, they got this.
Yeah, and they don't. They very much don't.
They really don't.
Yeah. This is the one thing I don't like about what Didi is doing is he's making the Metal Men look so terrible. Like, they are a superhero team, you know? Like, and I get it. I get what the point of the story is going to be. But yeah, I don't know. I don't like them. I don't like him taking the bite almost.
This kind of feels like an early days Metal Men story where they're not actually fully there yet. And maybe that's true. I don't know. There's nothing that lines us up with continuity, is there?
Well, there's not really any continuity except that in the first issue we find out that it's all been a lie, that they're not actually sentient, right? That they're all
that's true.
Just different.
So there has to have been some time with them.
Right, and then he even brings up that they fought something like this before, you know, in their early adventures.
Yeah, and they said they barely won, but it's a more experienced team now, and they'll do like. Although he neglects to think about the fact that they're a team member down when he says this.
Right.
Right. But so,
it's only gold, so you know.
Well, yeah, but he's the leader. He's he's the gold standard. But it seems to me it's making Will Magnus seem inept. When that's, not typically...
I mean, I think what I like about this book is someone who's not read a lot of standalone Metal Men stuff, right? I've seen them pop up in things like 52 and popped up in, whatever else. Is I kind of like it's really making me like just the banter between them. And their bumbling buffoonery, as it were, that they seem to kind of have here is working for me. It's separating it from other things I'm reading. But yeah, Magnus is obviously not willing to give in, so even after his Metal Men are defeated, he's got a backup plan. He's got a plan B. Magnus Opus.
Yeah?
Which may be
what's that mean?
Well, I mean, you're familiar with Magnum Opus, right?
No, I know, but I mean, what's that mean for him?
Like, oh God!
What's his Magnus Opus?
I don't know. The Earth is basically like crying from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, like inside the body of a giant robot. I'd maybe guess.
No, Pete, that's not what I'm saying.
You're asking what it is in the book.
Yeah. So no, the base.
Oh no! I know what you're getting at. I'm saying his actual Magnum Opus. If I've got the ego of Dr. Magnus, I feel like it's to put an entire robot around the entire planet. This building turn into a robot is a stepping stone, and the trajectory of Will Magnus is what I'm saying.
I did get Pacific Rim vibes from it. I will say that.
I just love the visual. I think what I liked about this is that it still looked like a building in the middle. It just happened to have arms and legs and a head.
It didn't transform, is what you mean.
Yeah.
No.
Well, and I think someone's going to call this out, right? So I'm going to bring this up because I said I hated the Holojustice turn into a ship a few issues ago in Justice League, and here's where this is different, right? It's the tone of the book in the first place. This in Metal Men feels on point. It feels like, yes, of course it was going this way. This feels natural to the events and the tone of the story. Justice League is meant to be the serious, ongoing crisis, central DC comic story. And so it bugged me in that. Here, I had a smile on my face as this silly building robot was, kaijuing around with this manta.
It is very silly.
Yeah,
it is
super silly. That's all. I mean, this whole mini feels very Silver Age, which is funny because Dan Didio was determined to kill the past every chance he gets.
He has a soft spot for Metal Men, though, doesn't he? For whatever reason. He
does. OMAC and Metal Men, those are his two bugaboos.
Because Didio did the Metal Men story in Wednesday Comics, right?
Yep.
Yeah, which was also a lot of fun.
So, but yeah, and like people saying, the banter between them, Lead ends up trying to create a shield while Iron gets knocked into the water. Tin tries to save Iron, but he's not strong enough.
Iron rusts real fast.
Yeah. It starts off feeling kind of like a scene from like an Independence Day or something like, because they all come in as gliders, as their planes. It feels like they're all coming in as a squad. Again, of course, very quickly that all falls apart. Eventually, Magnus has to just kind of agree and let Nth Metal Man out of the cell, the containment cell, and he goes and wraps himself around this
kind of does
Manta.
what Platinum was trying to do, but better.
Yeah, but succeeds.
Which I guess, from what it's understood, is that's how they defeated it the first time. So. That's what he does, but it's also too that since the Nth metal is a psychic thing, I still don't trust it, right? 'Cause it's a psychic metal, and I feel like it's just playing into Will's ego.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, hell, I mean, obviously we mentioned this last issue, but it's taken the appearance of Will. It's taken his appearance. I mean, obviously it looks metally, but it's his shape.
Right. Right.
So all issue as well, because when they bring up "you killed Gold," we can't trust you. He's like, well, that thing that I pulled out this thing that gave it this the resemblance of life. I can do better than that. And the issue ends, of course, with Gold sort of popping up and saying, I've never felt more alive. So we may actually get into the idea that Gold might actually be a sentient life form now, properly, and Will Magnus is going to be absolutely livid because he's not been able to pull it off, and Nth Metal Man's just done it as if it's nothing.
Well, and being that Nth Metal's emotionally charged, right, or psychically charged, as they say, I'm wondering if this leads to the responsometers being built out of Nth Metal.
That would make sense.
I could see that, because it's worth mentioning, but even before this, like, Will kind of like acknowledges that Nth Metal Man must be truly sentient, because the motivations he has for doing anything are all far more advanced than anything that his Metal Man can do. So, this is a fun, enjoyable read, very quick read as well. I kind of flew through this.
Yeah, there's not much to it, right? Like 90% of it is action.
Yeah, it's action with one-liners, though, which can get tiring, but
then the odd little bit of Magnus and Nth Metal Man talking a little bit.
Yeah, and then a building became a robot and fought a flying manta. It was a thing.
Yeah, Double Ray.
So no, I thought it was solid. So what are you giving it, Matt?
I'll give this a 7 as well.
Cara?
Yeah, 7's perfectly for me.
Yeah, I think 7. That sums it up. Solid, fun 7.